we open to one of many hallways in Horizon High. It's early morning. The day has yet to start, and students busy themselves loitering in front of lockers. The mood of the school is solemn. Smiles have weight, laughter is tiring. A girl walks into frame and stares directly at us. She has short, vibrant blonde hair, sky blue eyes, and a white blouse in a style only significant financial comfort can afford. There's emptiness to her eyes, and confusion to the sorrow that curves her lips. We linger here for a few panels. Students come and go behind her. And then we switch perspective, and now look over her shoulder from behind. On the wall in front of her is a large poster of Mr. Miracle. It's a close-up of his upper body. His arms are outstretched as if waiting for a hug, and there's some obvious touch-ups done to make his smile, somehow, shine even brighter. The base of the poster has been graffitied by several students. Many of these markings showcase sympathy, disbelief, and grief for the loss of Horizon City's hero. The girl steps towards the poster, pulls out a black marker, and makes to scribble something in the corner. However, she stops and shakes her head. Putting the marker away, she hurries away from the poster and out of panel. In the final panel of our intro, we see the top of the poster. The slogan reads in golden letters, "You are a miracle, just the way you are."
Oof, that's bad.
End intro story for today's session.
Ooh, that's so bad.
Yeah, that's it.
We're done?
That's it. Thank you guys for joining.
Claps.
Yeah, perfect. And now for our Stolen Who's Line intro.
How about now? No.
Welcome to a Critically Accursed podcast where the plot's made up and the roles don't matter. I'm your host, Zordon, and joining me today are the Power Rangers. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Aye.
That's not a Power Ranger.
Oh,
That's
damn
fucking
it.
Alpha. What's wrong with you?
Disgraceful.
So, today's a special occasion because everyone's here, and we don't see that often these days.
We haven't seen that in ages.
Centuries, perhaps. So, we've done a lot so far individually, individual character stories. Some of you teamed up. Some of you are Seth and did not. Forever alone.
I'm so
Forever alone.
But yeah, everyone's gone through some stuff, and we're here today to try to tie some things together and get this Halloween dance underway. Because I know everyone's excited for the Halloween dance. Someone tell me what you're looking forward to today, in the future, and anything, something that you're looking forward to. Let's start with Alex, because he's at the bottom of the Discord list.
Damn this name. In-game or real life?
Whatever, tell me one thing you're excited for, period.
Oh no, life is bleak. You got this, Alex.
Okay, very good, Alex. Now we'll move on to Seth.
Jesus, how bleak is life, bud?
Well, I mean, you just said it's life.
Dark.
So dark. Much nihil.
Letting my inner anti-hero just take over. It's too much. I forgot to say I'm very method. So I'm just gonna end up becoming a douchebag until this is all done.
Becoming.
Yeah.
The shots. They're so fired.
Oh,
Okay, well, awesome. These prompts have backfired. Seth, tell me something cool.
Oh gosh, I thought I was going to tell you something I was looking forward to. Something cool. Fuck.
Yeah.
now he's gonna sit there and stammer without an answer.
No. Lots of cool things. Fuck. Actually, you know what, Matt? That cool honey badger constantly breaking out of its enclosure. What was it? Snoffle?
Stoffel.
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 That was fucking cool. Escape artist honey badger, making a girlfriend, going out, stealing a whole thing of pork belly. Life goals.
It's from a documentary. It's very good.
Nice. Everyone should go check that out several months from now when this is released.
We stand Stoffel. Yeah, we're a Stoffel Stan podcast. It's what I name my, I actually name my Cyndaquils Stoffel.
Oh, yeah?
in Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah, because of it. Because he evolves into a giant fire honey badger.
You know what? That's coincidental. Matt, I was going to ask you for a fun fact, but I feel like you just gave me one.
There it is. Nailed it.
Wow, perfect.
Galaxy brained your prompt.
Wow. So then we can skip right over you and go straight to Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle, give us a honey badger fact.
Yeah, do it.
Honey badgers don't care.
All right.
That's the best one I know.
The memes are alive. The old ways live on.
That you dug that meme out of a crypt. Jesus.
You're welcome.
Well, then I guess to complete the circuit, Alan, tell me something you're looking forward to.
I started a few new stories, so I'm looking forward to reading all of them.
You started a few new stories, like at the same time?
I tend to do that, yeah.
What you reading, bud?
Names.
Starless Sea by Aaron Morgenstern. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin.
Oh,
Hey.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah.
That came in second in our book club poll.
Nice. And then there's one more that I haven't started yet, but is on my shelf. So I can't actually remember which one it is right now. But yeah, those. And then my friend recommended a couple of cultivation novels online, translated from Chinese. So I'm starting those as well.
Busy. But cool. Very exciting.
Helen, you remain my hero.
I have to feed my reading addiction somehow.
Oh, speaking of heroes, I
I
think
thought you were going to say, speaking of addictions.
speaking of being addicted to tabletop games.
Hey, calm yourself.
Yeah, I was just adding you in chat real fast. Just no worries. Yeah, I think we're here to play a game, so we could probably do that for a little bit, I think. What we see when we open today's particular issue is we are once again at Horizon High. It is still early morning. In fact, the intro scene of today's issue has taken place at this more or less exact same time. Throughout the school, students are gathering and doing pre-school day hangouts and stuff like that. But as mentioned in the intro story for today's issue, there is this noticeable mood going throughout the school of, I don't want to say sadness, that sounds super lame, but no one's really in high spirits. Maybe it's a little bit of Mr. Miracle's death catching up with the school, but also news has semi-recently, really hit public about the death of the murder of a teenage superhero who went by the name of Quake, real name Reese Ruthers, who went to your school. During the panel setting up the stage for this morning, I think we get a little bit of the principal O'Shaughnessy comes in over the PA to just address the students this morning. And I think he says a lot about what it means to come together as a community, to look towards a brighter future and all that. But where we're focusing on is probably the tail end of this announcement, where he says, Now I know that many of you out there have access to amazing capabilities, and many of our students are so ambitious and want to do good with the community. And I know that many of you may feel compelled to go out to the streets and try to help the community with the things you're capable of doing. But I would like to take a moment to just remind you that there's career paths you can follow to do these sorts of things, to join law enforcement. When someone from our community, when something this tragic happens, I think that we really need to learn from what's going on and just try to make sure that we all stay safe. That's we stay focused on the days to come. As always, if anyone needs someone to talk to, we have resources here to reach out, and feel free to make use of those. But as your principal, I am hoping that all of you continue to stay safe. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But so what I want to get you guys involved in, I think our panel focuses on Reese Ruthers' locker that has just been adorned with maybe like flowers and other memorial things, sympathy cards. Just it's been decked out with people who have known this kid that's no longer with us, and it's this huge display, and everyone who walks by it, looks. A lot of kids stop and stare for a little bit. What I want to do is, if we frame several panels in a row, looking out from like the locker's perspective into the hall, I wanted to get an impression of how the murder of someone your age who went out into the streets to try to be a hero impacts your character. This character has never come up in game before. He's just someone none of you really ever knew. Very few people in the school, if anyone, knew he was throwing on a costume and hitting the streets to try to fight crime, and all of a sudden his identity's outed and he's no longer around. Maybe that affects some of you in significant ways, maybe it doesn't, but I'm interested to find out.
So this is somebody that Tate definitely didn't know, because he doesn't know a lot of people in school, but hearing the story of someone who's already doing the thing that he thought that he wanted to do, he wouldn't get close, but like down at the end of the hallway or something, he would probably just stand and look at the locker and do essentially a moment of silence, because this person did what he wanted to do and died doing it, and that very well could have been him. He hadn't had other people join in and help him out in certain ways so that he wasn't alone. And then once he does that, he'll just turn around and leave.
Maddie's going to, add something to the locker. Cutouts of flowers. I don't know exactly what they would do. I don't know, like a flower garland or something really nice. And she would just kind of say and think to herself just that, it's tragic losing a hero. He was so young, probably had a lot of promise, and it's just a lot of loss going around between him and Mr. Miracle and everything. She's just reflecting on the massive loss that Horizon has endured recently. Very, her head's bowed, and she's thinking about it.
Pop's probably standing there, just staring but I assume a crowd is kind of gathered, staring intently at the locker. Arms probably in a sling at this point, just given everything that's happened to him recently. And he'll actually kind of reach up and grab the collarbone where he was stabbed. And he'll say in a thought bubble, "I think I know who did this to you. They tried to do it to me, and I'm going to stop them." He'll kind of glance across the crowd and kind of lock eyes with Greg, and then turn and walk the other way through the crowd.
And Greg in the background, his gaze lingers on Pep as he walks away.
I see Seraph avoiding the hell out of this locker. Assuming the school has a central courtyard, it's kind of either figure eight or big square, going the long way every time to avoid this stretch of hallway. I guess I could see the view from the locker, like you've been doing, and then maybe just sort of peeking out down the hallway, seeing Seraph briefly glancing down this hallway, then immediately turning to go the long way around. Maybe even an overhead shot of this really circuitous route, just quadrupling his path from one class to another, just to avoid the locker. As to what's going through his head, I can't really think of an appropriate thought bubble here, but a definite facial expression of almost a resigned, tired, not today.
It's gonna focus on Todd in the middle of a passing period. You'll have those blacked out images of silhouettes passing around him and maybe staying in the middle of the hall, looking at the locker. Just this thought bubble of, that could have been Talia. I'm not gonna let her do this alone anymore. This is way too dangerous for either of us to do alone.
as has been the theme of this whole story whenever you guys get together, is I think we see rather clearly just the different themes and perspectives of each character that each character is bringing to the table. And I think it was really evident here with how everyone reacted to this particular situation and scene. So kudos on you guys. A+ role-playing, I think.
Only the fans can tell.
You can clap for yourselves. That's acceptable. I'm just assuming you guys are. That's fine.
Oh, that's sad because only a couple craps. So that's awkward. Real awkward.
It's hard to clap and push to talk.
It was really sad hearing. I regret that I asked for it.
I was cheering.
Okay.
I also regret that you asked for it.
To segue from our establishing scene of today's issue to my favorite catchphrase, the meat and potatoes of what we're doing today.
Take a drink.
Yeah, take a drink. Alex, so last we left Todd, he just had a conversation with Talia, and he was heading to his room for some rest, and she entrusted him with the tablet and the big crime files.
Yes, she did.
Can you tell me, assuming like the establishing scene probably happens after that, this might be just like a little bit of a flashback to clue in readers on some of the intricate details of the super sophisticated story that we're telling. Can you just paint me some panels and tell me what we see when he gets back to his room, what he does with the tablets, and what like his night looks like, if he thinks any thinky thoughts, anything like that?
At first, it's a series of panels of him just getting in the room, flicking on the lights, falling like face first on the bed, tablet in hand, and head up. Oh, I can't leave this out. And then just a series of panels of him like looking at places and thinking, is this good? Is this a good spot? Like him trying to stuff it in his mattress, trying to put in the box ring in a closet, and like, no. And then just that little like light bulb appears above his head, the stash. And he slides the guitar over, and there's just a just big enough hole behind it where he keeps like very special things. So you'll see like
very special things.
A picture of the whole family. He's got the one of his grandfather that he keeps like under his pillow, but he's got a picture of like when he and Talia were like maybe toddlers, not a family picnic, but maybe like at their grandparents' house. And he tucks the tablet right back in there. Maybe stops a minute just and reminisces a little bit while looking at the photos.
Is that where you want to leave the scene off on?
Just leave it with him just plunking back down on his bed going, what a fucking night.
I think we flip the page and a nice text box at the top gives us that nice phrase, sometime later. And we jump ahead a little bit. Alex, I think one of the things you mentioned that you want to happen before the Halloween dance is to have Todd visit Robbie at some point, right?
I like to think that it's probably back during lunch. Everything's all crowded, a little loud. Maybe not as loud with if this is after the death of Quake, but it's still a lunchroom. People are talking. It's a easy enough places for voices to be drowned out in.
So I think, Todd, today you're at your lunch table, your designated corner table, because you're super cool and edgy. And it's just a few minutes into lunch and before, like, Robbie comes over and he does this stupid thing where he taps you on one shoulder as he's passing by to see if you'll look in the wrong direction as he goes to sit next to you.
He's had a tough time. I'll let him have it.
Oh, okay, cool. Then, yeah, he just smiles and chuckles a little bit as he sits down with his tray of cardboard pizza that's being served.
But is it chicken patty day today, Chris?
No, it's cardboard pizza day and tiny French fries.
It's always fucking cardboard pizza day.
Yeah, it is.
So, Rob, you want to hear something cool?
His mouth is full of pizza and he's chewing slowly, but he looks at you and nods. Uh-huh.
I just pull up my shirt to show, like, the arms of my shirt to show some of the bruises I got.
His eyes widen. His mouth gapes a little bit. You can see chewed pizza in his mouth.
I kicked the shit out of these goons the other day. Got a couple lickings, but I came out on top.
What? When? When did this happen?
Yeah, a few nights ago. 2 or 3. It still hurts a little bit.
He like starts like going like he's gonna poke it.
So
he pokes it.
God, fucking really?
I had to make sure it was real. But what were you doing?
Well,
going after goons?
Oh, the girl needed saving, so I did some superheroing.
For real? Like how many were there?
There must have been like 4 or 5 goons and then the boss. This big guy wielding a tire iron.
What's a tire?
Wheels, a tire. I don't know. That's just what I was told it was called.
Huh.
But it was this big piece of metal, and it just fucking hit me with it. I was swinging a bat at him, but...
Wow, that's cool. I mean...
So, Robbie.
Wow, that's cool. He takes another slow bite of pizza.
I made you a promise, and I'm starting to get good at this fighting thing. You ready to start your training so you can be my sidekick?
Damn it, Alex. This is how you kill children.
He puts down the pizza. He swallows. He looks at you. His eyes narrow. Show me your ways, Sensei.
Get up, ruffle his hair. Oh, young Padawan, I have so much to teach you.
But, so I think we need to, go slow, because I don't think my brother or my dad would really like that I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it anyways, because I'm a rebel.
Nah, it's okay. You'll be totally fine. I'll make sure you're safe, dude.
Do you have a costume? Do I get a costume?
Not yet. I don't have a costume yet. Working on it. And the answer is, of course you will, once I'm sponsored.
Who's sponsoring you?
Can't tell you just yet. It's a
secret.
Keep it on the down low.
I got you. I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is cool. Robbie's super hype. Like you can see, he's starting to sweat a little bit, and he's shaking a little bit. He's so excited.
Don't worry, I won't put too many bruises on you at the start. But once it gets time, I'm gonna go all out on you once we get the basics down.
I'm ready. I can handle a lot. I'm tough. He flexes, but it doesn't really. He's not strong or anything. He's 13 years old. And then he looks at you and he leans in a little bit and he says, "Do you have a hero name yet?"
I'm still thinking about it. I'm not quite sure what I want to go with.
All right, we'll think about it. We'll workshop it.
Definitely. If there's anyone I trust to help me come up with something cool, it's you, Robbie.
What does that scene conclude with, Alex? What do we see?
It totally concludes with a big high five, and then them sitting next to each other, Todd writing out a schedule for when they're gonna start training.
Wonderful. And he's looming over your shoulder eating that shitty pizza.
Absolutely.
He feeds you a bite. He feeds you unbitten ends every once in a while.
Thanks, I didn't have a lunch today.
Very wholesome. Very wholesome. 13-year-old and a 14-year-old deciding to go fight crime and totally not get themselves killed. Let's go. Alex is gonna get Nat's brother killed. I can't wait for the reveal on that. In the meantime, because I know we're all in high spirits right now, but let's tone that down a little bit and bring some sadness back into the mix. Todd's scene concludes, and as we flip the page, we find that in the spotlight is none other than Sad Seraph.
Actually, if you don't mind, I had an idea for a little scene transition there.
Yeah, go for it.
Todd's there having lunch. Generally a fairly social hour. Scoot perspective across the school to Seraph having lunch. Alone. In a stairwell. In the shadows. No, not really. He likes windows. He'll be in a big old window. Nice and well lit. Yeah, thinking of my high school growing up. Just these giant windows in the stairwells, shitty green tiles. All the little grouting was always stained black, but they were really deep windowsills. So, your average high schooler could sit in one, no problem.
I can picture it. I feel like I'm there.
Yeah, that's just Seraph with his sack lunch, looking out the window. Maybe a quick view from his perspective as he just sort of scrolls through future Twitter or Tumblr or whatever the social media of the time is.
Insta tweets.
Ah, the Insta tweets, of course. And I could see several panels of that before a bell rings. He sighs, he goes off to class, realizes he's looking down that hallway he doesn't want to go down, turns around, back through the stairwell, around the building, shows up late to class, but it's cool, it doesn't matter.
Right. When he walks in, does anyone say anything?
I think it's lost in the noise. I think you see the teacher of the class, you see her addressing him, but there's no text bubble, there's nothing. Background's a little faded. Maybe even a little focus to, I could see him having this class with maybe William or... He only has 2 friends in this school, doesn't he?
You only have 2 friends in this school, in this game.
So either William or Nat in the back of the class, probably looking at him, and then back to him looking out the window. Sort of a callback to his first issues, where it's just him staring out windows, but with everything a bit more bright, and everything's probably a little more blurry, a little less hopeful.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, probably a little bit less time in school. Maybe, if we've got the time for it, a walk home alone. Nothing cliche, not like, it rains on him and shit like that. It's probably a beautiful day out. But more of him just sort of zoning out, checking the old Insta tweets. Maybe almost getting hit by a car at some point, probably not noticing. Pretty sure he's immune to cars at this point,
Yeah, you did unlock that power, so that's cool.
Car immunity, my favorite.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Almost as good as bullet immunity.
Cool. So, walking home alone, bright sunny day, raining in his soul.
Yeah, probably even getting home. Grandpa's probably sitting on the couch, staring into oblivion with the TV on. A half-hearted hello out of Scott. Can't imagine much of a response. And then up to the bedroom we go.
And in the bedroom, is he just like laying down on bed, having more lonely thinky thoughts, or?
I could actually see him stripping down pretty quickly, getting the wings out, and then, laying down in the bed, pulling up the tablet, hanging out like that.
Okay.
A real change of pace from the usual, staying covered for as long as possible. Now it's just, screw it, get comfortable, stretch the wings out. I'm alone. It's fine.
After that series of panels that you just described, and we get him like laying in bed, stretching out his wings and all of that, there's a beep boop-a-doop from, he doesn't have a phone, he has those contacts. So just like a beep boop-a-doop from his person, I guess, because he probably has like a personal network.
It just says beep boop-a-doop in this like upper right-hand corner of his vision.
Yes.
Just bright red letters.
The next like text box that comes in is an obvious text. At the top, it says it's from Python. Hey, Freakazoid, up for some laser disc? ?
Him lying in bed counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not desperate. Fuck yeah, man. Let's go.
Okay, great. That's amazing. Sure, yeah. If it works for you, we could probably just cut ahead to after the Laserdisc match, because we will never show what Laserdisc looks like.
We can't. It is forbidden.
Perfect. So, kind of similar to the first time you played a Laserdisc with Python, when we joined the two of you at night at the Laserdisc courts. Both of you sweaty, tired, just hanging out. Maybe you have some drinks with you that he stole out of a vending machine just by like reaching up into it with his gangly arms. And yeah, the two of you are just kind of hanging out. I think the scene opens with him taking a chug from a bottle of future Gatorade or whatever. That was a good game.
Yeah, no, that was, dude, my feathers are sweating. I didn't think they could do that.
Yeah, and I have some bruises. I didn't think I could bruise anymore.
Oh, yeah, because stretchy, you think you just bend with it?
He shrugs. He eats the bottle.
God, I thought you said you can't actually digest that.
I'll spit it up later.
All right. You don't have to do that around me, right?
It's ammunition for when I need it later.
Oh, you mean literally spit it at... That's kind of cool, actually. That's neat.
He leans back and he puts his arms like behind his head and he says, I've been thinking about what I'm capable of doing ever since my run-in with Sky Valor. Did I tell you about that?
Like outside of like when we were all together?
I was hanging out with a kid at night at some playground, having a good time, and she comes swooping in to disturb all the fun.
All right. Well, were you being a dick or something?
Nah, we were all having a good time.
Uh-huh. Who are you picking on?
Just some chump.
Uh-huh. That's called being a dick, my guy. That's, yeah. All right. I'm sure you deserved whatever happened, but go on.
Well, she comes swooping down, and I have this kid hung up on the jungle gym by his pants, and she tells me to release him. So I do what I always do. I unhinged my jaw and try to put his head in my mouth, to freak her out.
That's got to get old real quick, You gotta...
Yeah, I don't think I can do that again. I mean, I could, but I probably won't.
Okay. Then what happened?
Oh, she shoved me, and I figured that I didn't really want to throw down with Sky Valor. I hear she's invincible.
Actually, yeah, she's really tough.
You think you could take her?
Me? No, probably not.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You look pretty tough. Are you invincible?
No, gosh. No, I got a bruise just from jumping off a pile of pallets. That was like a week ago. Wow, lots happened.
Tough go of things, champ.
I mean, yeah. Not really talking to my other friends at the moment.
You mean the nerd? I don't know who else you hang out with, but I know the nerd.
Nah, we've been friends for a long time, actually.
Sounds like their loss.
Well, it's safer for them, you know? I mean, you get it, you know? Like, you have these, powers? Can we just say powers? You got powers?
Oh, yeah, we can say powers.
Great. So you've got these powers, and sometimes they backfire. Sometimes you don't know your own strength, or I guess in your case, your own stretchiness. I don't know if this applies to you.
No, I get you. I find new things about myself almost every day. Well, not really every day. That'd be weird. That's a lot of days. Every once in a while. Stretch a little bit further.
Well, I mean, you ever, like, hurt someone you didn't mean to?
I always mean it when I hurt someone.
Right. Well, I'm not terrible, like you. You awful human being.
He laughs.
And I don't like hurting people. And sometimes I do. And it's happening more and more. And I like my friends. I don't want to hurt them, you know? But like you, I don't think I could hurt you even if I tried.
He shrugs. He says, I don't know, you could probably kill me if you really wanted to. But hey, maybe I could do the same to you. I'm not gonna, and I don't think you're gonna kill me either.
Nope, that got dark real quick.
Yeah, sorry, that's how my head works sometimes.
That's all right, you've had a rough go.
Yeah. Well, seriously, eyeballs. If these guys were your friends, they'd understand your situation, right? They'd understand what you're capable of doing, accidentally or otherwise.
You know, I think they do understand. We don't talk about it at all, except like to see if I can fly sometimes, which is a little weird. But I think they do kind of get it. It's just, I don't know if I get it.
Here's the thing. This whole city, he like puts a hand on your shoulder and outstretches his arm like he's gesturing to the whole city. This whole city is full of people like you, like me, people with these crazy powers. Each and every one of us has the capacity for danger, right? We're all capable of hurting people, some a little bit more so than others, and that's what the normies have to understand. You and I aren't like them. We're dangerous, we're different, and we need to stick together, like real friends.
So, Chris, danger up and what down?
Mundane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you good with that?
Yeah, I'll accept that. Label shift accepted. Seraph will nod and say, yeah, I mean, you're right. Of course you're right. This is just how things are. There's nothing I can do about it. Being different is dangerous. I don't know. I guess we got to stick together. Us dangerous people. God, it feels so weird to say that, you know? Like, I mean, look at me, look at you, dangerous people. We're fucking teenagers.
He laughs. He says, you're all right, eyeballs. A little soft around the edges, but I don't know. I think you're still pretty cool. Lot of potential.
Yeah, you too. You know, I mean, I don't talk about this often, but, you know, I can see souls.
He blinks a couple of times, and he says, nope, I did not know that.
And, you're not all bad. I think you got a lot of potential, too. Just to, you know, be a person. Maybe you don't have to be so... Yeah, I'm going to say it. Maybe you don't have to be so dramatic about everything. Maybe you can just be a dude.
He shrugs.
Because I think you've got the potential.
Maybe. Maybe not. Time will tell, won't it?
Hey, so, Halloween dance. Super lame. Definitely not cool. But, you think about going?
Well, I wasn't thinking of not going. You want to crash a party?
I mean, we're invited because we're students. I don't know if it's crashing, but yeah.
I just usually assume I'm not invited, but okay, sure.
Yeah, I've actually got a costume and everything. So.
All right. All right, you know what? I'll make some calls to my boy Pitbull. Go as a unit. Rock the dance floor.
Okay, all right. Okay, but just one thing I gotta ask. The only fights we're allowed to get into at this dance are dance fights. That's it. That's all I'm asking. No fist fights, no power battles. If there's a conflict, it must be a dance-off, all right? I don't think I'm asking too much.
He stylishly rises to his feet and, like, strikes a pose, and he says, I love dancing. I find your terms acceptable.
I put out a hand so he can help me up.
Yeah, and he does. That's probably where it ends.
You see, that was a metaphor. He helped me up after a brief thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, wow, nice. I bet the readers at home got it, too. They probably didn't until you said it, but that's okay. Great. Then as that scene concludes and we flip the page, we find that our spotlight now centers on one Tate Temple.
It's going to continue being sort of Tate's point of view, but Tate is in the background of like every scene where he is. Because like, she showed up in the middle of the night and came over and she's going to stay there long term. He is always going to be around when like his parents are talking to her and they're like, oh yeah, we'll help you like get stuff that you need in order to like settle in a little bit more. But he's never really included in the conversation. Like his mom will look at him and smile every once in a while, but like she's clearly focused on Mary because she really likes Mary more than she likes him. So like there will be like, oh yeah, like let's all go out shopping and stuff, and they will do that and they will have a good time chatting, and you'll just see sort of like them walking along trailing with like Tate behind them, and then they'll both like occasionally look back and smile at him, but like he's not the main character for his arc.
There's like a panel of the car ride to the shopping center and he's in the back seat and Mary's in the front with his mom.
Absolutely. And like, when they're at home, it's like, oh, Mary, like, why don't you come over with me? Like his sister would say. And so like, they'll be like off doing stuff. And then his mom and dad will gravitate towards like that room too. And it'll seem like a very big family moment. And they'll realize that Tate's not there. But like nobody's really going to be like, oh yeah, Tate, you should join us, or they will, but it'll be super awkward because everybody's like, yeah, he also lives here. Like he spends a good amount of time with Nathaniel, and then he still has a good connection with his dad, obviously. So it's not that big of a deal because while they're all doing stuff, he'll be with Nathaniel, training up a little bit. But it's just any scene with the rest of them, he's always in the background.
Okay. Yeah, that's super funny. I like it. I mean, it's not super funny. It's kind of sad, but still.
It's very sad, but it is funny.
Yes. So with all of that, getting a glimpse of how his home life's going, I think there is something that you mentioned wanting to establish that happens at school.
Yeah, I mean, it was just going to be something simple, but like the last time they were hanging out, Todd and Tate sort of left off on not the nicest note, even though things were going so well, because Mary showed up. He and Todd were really like building this good rapport and having this close connection. And when she stepped up, he could feel that there was distance growing between the two of them. And so he just kind of wanted to explain a little bit about what was going on with her. And I don't think he ever finds the right time to do it. So like at school, like he'll be like, oh, look, there's Todd. Like I'll go talk to him. And then Todd goes and is like chatting with one of his friends. And he's like, oh, well, I'm not going to bother Todd while he's talking with his friends. I'll wait until I find him alone. And so like Todd might turn around and see Tate like turning away and walking away from a distance all the time.
Right. And in all of that, we maybe even just to like nicely tie in everything timeline wise, maybe we even get a panel or two showing Tate at lunch and seeing Todd sitting alone in his super emo corner table and going to approach him, and that's when Robbie comes up and like taps him on the shoulder and sits down.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect.
It's just it is that every single time Tate wants to go and like chat with him, and like he feels like this is too important to just send a text and be like, hey, let me just let you know what's going on. He's like, oh, I should tell him in person because I care about this person and I like him. And it just time is moving forward, so it's just getting more and more awkward.
Right.
Because like if this were solved the day after, totally fine. but now it's been like several days.
It's lingering. Yeah.
And it's just getting worse, and it's sort of spiraling in a sense, because now he's kind of starting to have anxiety about it.
So then I guess we can certainly leave it at that, unless Alex thinks that Todd would do anything particularly different about all of this, or if he would just let Tate appear in the background and then just like wander off.
No, all Todd would do is like if he saw him like leaving, just the eye roll, seeing him walk away, like, oh, he doesn't even want to talk to me now.
Okay, perfect. I think that's what we all wanted here, so that's fine.
Yes, that is exactly what I was expecting.
Great. What I'd like to jump to, Tate, is you coming home from school one day between whenever we last ended your story and before the Halloween dance, maybe after training with Nathaniel or something. We jump to you in your room. I think that's where we can set the stage, and a knocking comes from your door. Your dad quickly tells you that it's him.
Yeah, I'll open the door. Be like, hey, Dad, how are you doing?
Sure. He nods and smiles, that warm fatherly smile. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Do you mind if I come in? Do you mind if we talk for a second?
Yeah, for sure. Tate will open the door and he'll sit on the bed.
And your dad closes the door behind him, and he pulls out like a chair, if you have a computer desk in here or something, to kind of sit across from you. So I feel like it's been a little bit since we talked. How are things going?
Tate hesitates. He's like, there's a lot of things going on right now, and I'm not entirely sure how to deal with it all.
Well, do you want to tell me about it? Maybe I can help out.
Okay. Well, first is obviously everything going on with the powers, and then working with Nathaniel, which is great, but that takes up a lot of time. And I was only recently, I started to make friends with people at school, and I don't always have as much time. And one of the other sort of things is Mary, obviously, because you can see thought bubbles appear over his head of oh God, do I tell him about Todd? Do I tell him the truth about Mary? Do I let him believe that things are just getting awkward? And he's just kind of going to say there's this person at school that I really like. But every time it sort of feels like we're really getting along and starting to connect, somebody else always steps in and makes it really uncomfortable. And I'm not sure how to progress and move it forward, because I feel like it has now happened enough that I'm not sure that they still have any interest or like me. What do I do, Dad?
He nods. These sorts of things can be difficult, I think. But I think one of the things worth considering is how much time have you spent worrying about what this person is thinking or what would happen now that so much time has passed. How long have you let this eat at you, son?
Days.
Then, even at the worst case, isn't getting some closure by actually approaching this person worthwhile? If only to ease your burden.
I try, but every time I go to talk to them, alone, somebody else always shows up, and it never feels like it's a good time to do it. So I keep hesitating, but I feel like that's making it worse, because I think maybe they were waiting for me to take a step forward, and because I haven't yet, I'm afraid that they are also not happy with me. But I don't want them to be mad at me.
Have you tried giving them a call or messaging them?
I felt like it was more important to do it in person. So I kept trying to push to do it in person because it just felt less authentic to not. But I feel like at this point, if I do it over the phone or just sending a message, it's going to feel like a cop-out. But it would be better than not doing anything.
I do think it would be better than not doing anything, especially with how much it seems to be troubling you. And truth be told, if this person is a good friend or really cares about you, Tate, if you're honest with them, they should understand.
You think so?
Good people usually have ways of understanding someone else's difficulties, especially if they care about that person, especially if they're worth holding on to.
Tate will sort of you'll see him light up a little bit at that and be you're right. I'll actually do something about it this time. I don't want to miss the opportunity.
He smiles. Says, good. I hope it works out.
Thanks, Dad.
Yes. I think it's good for you to make and keep some friends around. A little bit of semblance of normalcy, I guess, in this weird, crazy world we live in.
Tate will nod vigorously.
Speaking of, Mary's been here a few days. Seems like things are going well with the two of you.
You see some of the light that sort of like filled him a moment ago, kind of it deflates a little bit. He's like, Mary's nice. It's definitely strange having her here all the time, but she really doesn't have somewhere else to go right now. So there's nothing you can do about it.
He nods. Yeah, from the sounds of it, she has a quite difficult home life, so of course we're all happy to help out. But between you and me, Tates, you're a little bit of a terrible liar. So I can tell that this seems to be not ideal for you. And I suspect that there might be just a little bit something more to all of this than the rest of us know.
When you weren't here, the house was a very different place. It was a lot more silent and a lot colder. And even when you came back, there were still parts of that there when you weren't around. But now that she's here, like Mom and Sky are happy, like all the time. They have someone to talk to. And I don't want to take that away from them.
Well, there's some times where you have to also be concerned about your own happiness. I understand that things have been difficult. I've talked about this a lot with your mother. I think that although your mom is rather taken with Mary, part of the reason that she likes having Mary around and likes the idea of the two of you being together is because it seems, I almost hate to say normal, but it seems normal. It seems that your life isn't being consumed with what is going on with you, with the powers, with the family curse. And like I said, that little bit of normalcy can be comforting. If I can say this, I think that it seems like you, regardless of your real feelings about Mary, it seems like you do still want to help her.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's not in the best situation and she's been through some stuff. And, with the powers and so forth that I have now, all I want to do is be a hero. How can I turn away somebody who needs help? Wouldn't that just be selfish of me?
Heroes have very complicated lives. And I've never been in a position to be much of a hero, I don't think. I've always tried to just live my life by being a decent person, to try to do the right thing. And I think in order to have a good idea of what the right thing is, you have to have that little bit of normalcy, that little bit of a regular, everyday, I'm just a teenager life around to remind you of what you're fighting for, of your humanity, in a way.
Tate will nod slowly.
We're all here for you. And even if things seem complicated now, I have the sneaking suspicion that it will level out, that your mom will come around and she'll be more accepting and understanding of what you're going through. And even whatever you feel about Mary, I imagine that's going to become something a little bit more comfortable in the future. Just, I hope you don't lose sight of who you are as a person. Tate, whether you try to be a hero, whether you fight the family curse, no matter what happens, you're still my son, you're still a teenager. And I do want that life for you. I want that simple happiness for you.
You'll see Tate get sort of uncomfortable and look away and be like, Dad, you're embarrassing me.
He gives you a hearty dad chuckle.
And in front of all of these listeners and readers.
I think that your dad's going to flex on you a little bit. And in doing this, he's going to try to, or he is trying to just enforce that maybe you should focus a little bit more on being mundane. Keep that in focus. Don't lose sight of your humanity, so to speak. And in doing that, maybe we'll get a better handle on this family curse, on the thing that threatens not only you, but the people around you. I think if he's shifting your labels, he's trying to increase your mundane and lower your danger.
Oh, I'm probably not going to fight against it, because to an extent that would make sense. Yeah, I mean, he loves his dad. He'll take that influence.
All right, your labels have been shifted.
All right, he is now at one mundane and one danger. And when his dad leaves the room, he's made up his mind. He's going to send a message to Todd. It's going to say, hey, I've been trying to like catch up with you at school all week, but you always seem busy. So I was wondering if you wanted to go to the dance together. Sent.
Alex, do you want to answer that now, or do you want to let that linger a little bit and maybe answer it later on in either this issue or the next one?
An hour later, aren't you bringing your girlfriend?
Oh.
Shit.
Spicy.
You're all mean.
Todd's so salty.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I kind of love it. Alan, so like he said, an hour later, that message will pop up. So we'll see like a panel just showing that there's a small passage of time. And then you get that response. Or maybe we don't even see the response. Can you tell me how Tate's scene of this section of the comic book ends with that in mind?
Oh, yeah. You're going to see like it'll be looking up at him from the perspective of the phone. And so like you'll see his phone like vibrate or whatever. And he'll see that it's from Todd. And you'll see his face light up. And then a moment later, it'll just freeze. And like he will look so sad. But he has a response and he'll type it. But I don't think you're going to see what it is.
And I think with that, flipping the page, we can shine the spotlights on one of the other characters for the evening. Pep, we flip the page, and this is your section of today's issue.
Probably just a bunch of panels with Pep trying to return to his mundane life. There's definitely a panel of him like walking down the hallway and Greg trying to get his attention and Pep just ignoring it, like with his group of friends.
Oh, like with Pep's friends, they all ignore Greg?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Poor Greg. Oh no.
There's probably another panel of like Pep just like hanging out at home, playing video games with his brother and stuff like that. And like his brother like punches him in the arm when Pep wins, and Pep like winces because of the stab wound that's underneath.
Right.
And we'll probably even have like a panel of Pep will be playing volleyball in gym class and like the janitors just like lingering in the doorway, like mopping something up and like watching him. There's probably another panel where Pep is going over like costumes and stuff with Lexi, and Maddie shows up and Pep is immediately like, oh, I gotta go. And also just like, well, because Pep knows.
Sure.
But Maddie doesn't know.
Maddie doesn't
But
know.
yeah, he also does not want to be around Sky Valor right now.
Right. So when you say like picking out costumes with Lexi, you picture it like scrolling through things on one of your phones or something in the hallway.
It's probably at lunch or something, or a study hall, and she's sitting there with like a tablet going through like a list of like costumes that you can pick up at the Amazon store or whatever the hell, because they're definitely still around. Mega Google store. And yeah, they're scrolling through costumes, and then like Maddie shows up, sits down, and Pep's immediately just like, oh, I forgot I had something to do, and gets up to like leave. So it's basically him avoiding the whole superhero thing.
Right. Focusing on school, his friends, probably his job still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could have one of Pep just like riding his bike, delivering pizzas and stuff like that. Get
that nice paycheck with the small raise he recently got.
Yes, he did get a raise recently. Actually, that could be the panel. Him getting his first paycheck from work. I think he's paid under the table actually. So
yeah, credits are just loaded into your credit card.
Yeah, he just the guy just loads it in. So it's definitely Pep getting paid like under the table, and he's like, and Mr. Mario's definitely like, don't go spend that all in one place.
And then I think in that case, we can swing into, I think you want to have a scene with your brother, Robbie.
We can kind of build out of that panel where they're playing video games. We'll be playing some sort of first-person shooter, probably something called like Horn, a Space Marine saga.
Yeah, Robbie's super into it. He's like leaning forward, like moving with the controller and everything.
Yeah, he's probably very animated, but Pep is still probably sitting relatively still because of the stab wounds and broken ribs.
Are you doing co-op or are you versing?
We'll be going through the co-op story.
Nice.
We'll say that.
Nice. We probably get just like a panel or two with several speech bubbles from Robbie, just like asking you to do stuff in game, like cover me. I'm gonna run over there and shoot that guy. Just make sure I don't get shot.
And Pep's definitely not like able to carry his own weight. Robbie's probably better at like these kind of games. And also he's definitely just not focused in on this at all.
Sure. Maybe we get to a point where Pep, like you lose the like you're the one to die this time. You know, he's just like yelling at you to cover him and to like watch out, to pay attention to your mini map, like stuff that you would probably tell him since you're the older brother. Like the panel we focus in on just has like the "you died" screen from Resident Evil across it.
And it's just Pep like his head back, just going, "Oh, the grenades."
Robbie's speech bubble says that's the third time tonight. This is so difficult. Like he's still not blaming you at all because he's a good kid.
Pep will just say, "Yeah, I'm just tough week at school. You know, the whole Reese Struthers thing is just, it's a lot, you know."
Oh, yeah. I didn't know much about him and never heard really anything about him or Quake.
I know. I don't think anybody really heard of him as Quake. I don't even think I knew him in school. But it just, I don't know. He got killed. Miracle got killed. The one you like, he was attacked on camera.
Oh.
Everyone saw that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, he's a recharge. He's going to bounce back. You know how bouncy he is.
I don't know. The report said he lost a lot of blood.
Well, it's just like, it's just like those comic books we used to read all the time. You know, sometimes heroes get beat up, but then they come back and save the day. That's how it always happens.
Yeah, we'll take that panel. Just kind of like focus on Pep's face, and he just kind of nods as the speech bubble comes in from like off panel and says, "That's how it always happens." Pep's just like thinking pensively about the whole thing, and he'll say, "What if he doesn't come back?"
He's gonna, because he's recharge. Like, I know he's gonna. He was thrown through a brick wall once, and he still picked himself up. Then there was that car accident, and the other car accident. A lot of car accidents.
Yeah, a lot of the pictures you show me are him getting thrown into or through cars.
Weird how that happens, but I don't know. I just know he's gonna come back. Of course he is.
Well, I mean, he was beaten with the help of Sky Valor.
She hasn't lost in a long time either. You know, it's the standard comic stuff. And he puts down the controller and he like sits back, like he's thinking about this like hard. He like crosses his arms and says, I don't remember hearing any stories of Sky Valor ever being defeated. So like maybe these were just like really, really tough villains, or they went in unprepared. They didn't know what they were dealing with, but they're going to bounce back and then take out those two next time they show up.
Well, okay, if this was a comic book, how would Recharge beat them in the future? Those guys were pretty fast in there. They were faster than Recharge. He'd have to slow them down somehow.
Or use their speed against them, I guess. Usually heroes figure out a clever way to turn what the villain's doing against them, if they're having a hard go of it. Or they have like a friend that gives them a MacGuffin that helps turn the tides of battle.
Oh, Recharge has got to go find a MacGuffin.
Yeah. Or like a friend or a sidekick to help him out.
Probably like cock his eyebrow when he mentions sidekick and say, "Don't go getting any ideas."
You know, I met Recharge once. We talked about this. I think someday, when I'm older, of course, he just like looks off in the distance.
You're going to be Recharge's sidekick?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, once if I ever learned how to fight, he like balls up his fists and holds them up into like a sitting fighting stance.
That's very dangerous. I mean, those guys stabbed Recharge a few times. You can handle that?
Well, it's part of the job, right? It's dangerous to help people.
Pep will reach out really quickly and like flick Robbie right in the forehead.
Ow! He rubs his forehead.
He goes, "You got a long way to go before you're going to be anybody's sidekick, bud."
Maybe. He just like rubs his head and looks down.
Let's get back to this game. We got to get through this library level.
All right.
Why do these space aliens even want this library anyway?
They I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the story.
No, I was just shooting bugs.
Yeah, it's a shooter. No one pays attention to the story. Do you have a way you want this scene to play out and end?
Yeah, I think the best way to end this is kind of like a shot over the back of the two of them. Like they're sitting on the couch playing the video game. Yeah, you see like on the screen, like a big energy sword is like going through one of the large alien things. And Robbie's like, I've never seen that before. That's so cool.
Awesome. And nothing from Pep, just sitting there.
Yeah, more just like calm, reserved, kind of, I guess, pensive Pep.
Sure, he has a lot to think about.
He's had a lot taken out of him lately.
The pep removed from his step, if you will.
Yes.
Wonderful. And I think at this point we once again flip the page, as we do on this podcast, and find that the spotlight has yet again shifted. And this time, we focus on the life and times of Sky Valor.
So, first of all, I think I really want to establish that since in Pep's section, he was talking about leaving every time I sit down at, like, the lunch table or whatever, Maddie is absolutely going to ask Lexi what's going on with him every time he does that, because she has no idea. So
Sure, and Lexi's response is just, like, equally confused as you are. Like, the first couple of times it happens, and if it, like, routinely happens during school, but, like, the last time it happens, she just, like, plain as day looks at you, stares, like, straight in your eyes, puts a hand in your shoulder, and asks you straight out, did something happen between you and Pep? You need to tell me. I'm your best friend. Like, if this is going to happen, you need to let me know if there's history between you two.
no, nothing happened. I don't know. Like, does he just not like me? Like, I don't think I did anything to him. Unless it was that one weird time that I was giving you advice. I don't know. Did he see me and think that was weird?
What if... Oh, okay. Maybe he's intimidated by you, you know? I mean, you are Sky Valor, after all. One of the strongest and most badass women in this entire school. I mean, hell, if I was him, I'd be intimidated trying to date Sky Valor's best friend.
Do you think it's just because we're, like, besties? Do you think that he's, like, intimidated by that?
He's probably definitely scared of you. We'll need to hang out more often so that he knows that you won't hurt him. Unless he hurts me, then you should totally hurt him.
That's true. That I would hurt him. He would deserve it.
Like, not like seriously, but like dangle him off the rooftop of the school or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would do the same thing for someone who hurt you.
Aw, Lexi.
Yeah, and the two of you hug and go about your day. Yeah, so what other things do we see? Like, what's going on with the Halloween dance? How are things being set up? And what's Sky Valor's role in it?
I assume she's probably, like, the vice president of that committee.
Of the Halloween committee?
Yeah, the Halloween dance committee.
Okay, perfect. I love it.
So they had some vague plans beforehand. I kind of picture in a way that Maddie would be like vice president of getting it all set up, but in actuality, the president is just there just to mess around and have fun. Like, he's not actually that interested. So she ends up doing a lot of the work, and she's walking around, like, I assume it's probably in the gym, walking around the gym with, like, a clipboard and, like, a checklist of all the things that they need to do, just looking around. And then maybe panels of it, like, progressing. And then, like, you know, there's like, garlands, like orange and black streamers. So they're, like, actually decorating. You could just see it progressively getting more decorated. And then maybe at one point, she's just, like, talking to the president, like, oh, so how about this thing? Like, yeah, we totally got music, right? Oh, that was my job?
Right.
So she's just, like, frantically going last minute trying to get everything together.
Great. Well, since I like putting you on the spot so much, Danielle, can you tell me 3 interesting things that we're going to have at this Halloween dance?
Oh, man. Okay. I honestly picture, like, not, like, normal lights, like, crazy lights. Crazy future-y lights.
Like future strobe lights? You turning the Halloween dance into a rave?
I mean, kind of ravey, but, like, not super regular strobe, because I picture strobe lights as just being, like, white lights, and I picture, like, very colorful lights. So some sort of mix of that.
It's just disco. That's all it is. Somehow you brought disco back for the Halloween dance.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I think would be really cool is, you know how I was saying that she had that where she idolized that one pop singer? Like,
yes.
When he totally fell flat on the music, she gave him a call and she's like, would you please play at my dance? And he felt bad and said yes.
Sky Valor called her pop star idol to perform at her high school Halloween dance.
Yes.
What in the high school musical bullshit is this?
Okay. Do you remember? Did we ever say who this pop star was?
Oh, yeah. I had his name.
Something Sparkles or something like that.
No. It was Tyler.
I think it was like Tyler Sparkles.
Tyler Cadence. That was it.
Cadence.
Tyler
Close
Cadence? Okay.
Yeah, Tyler Cadence.
Okay, sure. Then fine. This will be weird, but okay.
It's cool for her.
Yeah, sure. You could reach out to his, like, you somehow find his manager's contact information or something.
I just kind of figured his manager would be, like, around town, and maybe she, like, did something for him, like, pushed him out of the way or something.
Oh, yeah, totally. There was this one time where Sky Valor totally saved him from an oncoming bus or something, and as payment he gave her his business card and told her that if she ever needed some entertainment, just call him up.
This is not what he meant.
It's what he got. That's what you get for putting me on the spot, Chris.
No, it's great. No, it's perfect. So one really awkward phone call and explanation thereafter. You totally have the old pop star singer Tyler Cadence set to perform at Horizon High's Halloween dance.
It's okay. It's all like techno music and stuff anyway, so
techno pop. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is that one thing for the Halloween dance? I asked for 3, right?
There's still one more. You're welcome.
Okay.
No. Lights. There were
lights.
future
Okay,
lights.
cool. Then we do only have one more. Great.
Yeah, there's one more.
Please say haunted house. Please say
This
haunted
one
house.
I didn't
Please say
have
haunted house.
as much going
Please
for.
say actual ghosts. Please say actual ghosts.
We could go holograms. Instead of like a regular photo booth, there's a photo booth where you could get like a picture taken with a hologram of like Michael Jackson, or, you know, he'll probably be like long forgotten by then, but like, you know, other people.
Well, now that we've established that through a series of panels that showcase Sky Valor talking about those things and organizing those things with the Halloween Council, the Council of Halloween, which is a great team name, by the way, guys, just saying. I think, yeah, we can focus in on that scene that I think you've been wanting to do for a while now, where you're trying to help Lexi talk to Pep, I think. Where do you picture the scene taking place? Like your bedroom, her bedroom?
Probably hers.
Her bedroom is a very typical teenage girl's bedroom. It is... Well, okay, I'm assuming it's typical for a teenage girl's bedroom by saying it is extremely messy. There's a lot of stuff plastered to the walls, tons of stuffed animals on her bed. There is a large poster similar to the one in Sky Valor's room of Tyler Cadence on the wall above the bed. No. Yeah, do we see like the two of you just like hanging out in your pajamas late one night?
Different pajamas again.
Of course. Both of you, because she steals your pajamas because you have so many.
Yep. She starts by like running in and jumping on the bed. Like just flopping.
Sure.
And she's just like, you gotta text him. This is so exciting.
Yeah, this will be great. She's like sitting on the floor next to the bed, like back against the bed, and she has her fancy feature phone in her hand, and she's like looking at it, and she's just like, what do I even say? I can't just say hey again. That's so lame. That didn't really work out the first time.
But you gotta start somewhere.
Should I just like send him a selfie? Like not finger guns, but just like, I don't know.
Okay, send him a selfie and caption it hey, and see what he comes back with. Start there.
Matt, I hope you're ready for this.
Oh, flirt away, Chris.
God damn it. Sure. She takes a moment to frame a selfie of her in Sky Valor's pajamas. Since they are Sky Valor's pajamas, what sort of pajamas is Lexi wearing today?
Future emojis.
Future emojis. Great. Yeah, it's Lexi in a future emojis pajamas. Her hair is like tied up. She does the fucking duck lips, I guess. I don't know. She snaps a picture, captions it, "Hey," and her thumb hovers over like the send button. She takes a few breaths and sends it, and then like puts the phone down, and then picks the phone back up, and then like throws the phone across from her.
I get up, pick up the phone, and I bring it back to the bed. Like, no.
She's like, no, you hold on to it. Just don't tell me what he says, but tell me what he says. But tell me when he says. I mean, what he says. And
okay.
And
I get you.
Guess the ball's in Matt's court now. You late one night during the school week. Is that your response? What's up?
No, just sup.
Madison Myers, you have Lexi's phone, and you get that response. You get a sup.
He said sup.
What do I say to that? That's not. How do you say something for me?
Just hanging out with my bestie. How about you?
We'll just say it's the night that I'm like hanging out with Robbie.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Pep will just respond back. Nothing much. Playing video games with my younger brother. And then you'll get like a picture of the screen with like the score on it, like from the level.
Because even in 2172, they're keeping track of score in video games.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, score will never die. Perfect.
He's playing video games.
Which one? Oh my god, Maddie, is he a nerd? Is he like a closet nerd? Am I trying to date a nerd? Is that okay? That's probably okay, right? I mean, it's 2172.
I mean, I
can date a nerd if I want to.
I don't think video games are like super nerdy. Are they?
Nerds play video games.
But so do cool guys, right? Like rebels and stuff?
We need more information.
What's your favorite video game?
Pep will actually probably respond back. I don't play too many video games.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he'll say, I don't play too many video games. I'm just playing with my little bro.
Okay, cool. He just plays them with his little brother. It's good.
Meanwhile, there is a panel of Pep, like, sweating. Like, do I actually tell her? No, I can't tell her that I play video games.
Lexi kind of, like, goes, okay, good. Yes. So he doesn't play a lot of video games. That's stuff. That's fine. And he's hanging out with his brother. That means, he's responsible to his family.
Should we just ask?
If he's a nerd?
No.
Oh.
We should probably just be like, we're still on for the dance, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't we be? I mean, we picked out costumes and everything. Spent most of my paycheck on it.
I'll tell Lexi.
Ooh, okay, great. Is it too forward to ask him to the after party? Should I ask him to the after party? I mean, we're going to the after party, so he should probably go to the after party too.
Yeah, you probably should. Are you going to the after party?
Am I invited to the after party? Of course I'm going to the after party.
Of course he's going to the after party.
Tell him there'll be drinky drinks.
There will be drinky drinks.
Oh, you know how much I love those.
Oh, he loves those. That's great. We love those.
There's another panel of Pep just being like, the hell are drinky drinks? You mean alcohol? I don't...
Lexi, should we, ask him if he has a problem with me?
Ooh.
Or you could do that. You could do that.
Okay, here. Give me the phone.
I hand her the phone.
She says, excited for drinky drinks, winky face. Just wondering, something going on between you and Madison? Question mark.
She sends a thumbs up from the opposite side of the, bed.
There's definitely then a panel of Pep reading that and just, going wide-eyed, uh-oh. And he'll respond back, no, does Madison have a problem with me?
Lexi looks up and she says, you don't have a problem with Pep, right?
Of course not. He just gets up every time, gets up and leave every time I sit down.
She starts typing, of course not, you're just acting weird. And then she's like, no, I can't say that. And she crosses it out.
No, say that.
Should I say that? Okay, here, hell with it. I'll just say it. She says, no, all's good, homie. And she backs that out. She says, no, everything's all right. Just seems like you're acting a bit weird around whenever Maddie showed up.
Pep will type out an answer yeah, she was just there when I was brutally stabbed by 2 speedsters, but that's no problem. She almost saw my secret identity. And then he'll like delete that and be like, can't say that.
Oops, I accidentally clicked send.
Yeah, someone had to see it. And then he'll just respond back, nope, I'm cool with Maddie.
Lexi shrugs and says he says he's good with you. So
I thought we were all going to the dance as a group.
Lexi looks up from her phone. She gets this mischievous look on her face. And she just says, hey, Maddie.
Yeah.
Do you have a date for the Halloween dance yet?
No, I've been too busy trying to organize it.
She looks down at her phone and starts typing.
President's awful.
And she says, of course, we're going as a group. Speaking of group shenanigans, do you know of anyone who might want to share a dance or two with the legendary Sky Valor? Question mark, smiley face.
Yeah, there'll just be another panel of Pep looking at that and saying, whoa, that's a lot of pressure. No, Tim's got a girlfriend. Steve's got a date. Can't ask Kyle. Could ask Mark. He's like really into Sky Valor though. That might get weird.
That's what you send Lexi?
No, he'll send Lexi. I might have a couple ideas.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds fine. Just make sure to let me know soon. You know, she's everyone's itching to date Sky Valor, so like act fast.
Oh yeah. I'll send out a couple texts. We'll see if we can get the two of them in the same room and see what happens.
LOL, yes, summon the boys.
Then yeah, he'll send like a string of emojis, like winky face, crying laughing emoji, and then a gif of we'll do like an old GIF, an old SpongeBob GIF, because that's definitely still on of SpongeBob using the conch shell to like summon the superheroes. Right.
She gives you a thumbs up emoji and an LOL, and then she types, as this conversation is drawing to a close, she types up, looking forward to dating, and then immediately dancing, all caps dancing. And she throws the phone like under her bed and buries her face in her hands.
I don't even get her phone for her that time. I'm like,
Pep will definitely make the mistake of sending finger guns to her, and then he'll just be like, no, delete. Why do I keep doing the finger guns thing?
Yeah,
that's good.
Danielle, do you have any thoughts on how the scene concludes from there? After Lexi embarrassingly throws her phone like under her bed after she accidentally sent that message to Pep.
it's okay. It was just autocorrect as far as he knows.
Right. It's autocorrect. I'm not awkward. It's technology's fault.
You're never awkward. You're just awkward now. Just with him.
I could use some drinky drinks.
We're going to totally have drinky drinks.
Yeah, one or two drinky drinks. And one of the last panels, she's just asking, so tell me more about this Laser Valor Martini.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe he even let me have one. So and then she'll start like talking about that and it'll kind of like fade out.
Perfect. With the conclusion of that scene, do you guys have, like, if I said, tell me like one last panel that just like sums up this issue for your character? Is that something you guys can do, or do you think we're good just ending here?
I can do one last panel.
Yeah, great. Then I'll let Alex speak for the group. We'll start with Alex and give the others time to think. Alex, paint me one last picture for Todd Tabor.
So I like to imagine this is after school, probably the day after he had his talk with Robbie about the training schedule. And he'll go home and probably walk home with Talia that day. She's probably been having a lot of trouble since getting beaten to unconsciousness.
Yeah, she doesn't look in great shape. Like, her movements are a bit slow.
Just help her when he thinks she needs it. And for once you'll see like a much softer side where he just spends that evening just taking care of her, trying to get her better. Maybe to the point where he's almost pestering her.
Nice. I think that's fine. That'll be a good segue for where we pick up next time, too. Seth, do you have anything else? Any last thoughts, scenes you'd like to add?
Yeah, actually, I think having Sarah for Scott on like future Facebook, future book face.
Future.
Face the future.
Oh, face the future. Interesting.
Yes, face of the future. There we are.
Face off the future. Just face.
Ooh, take your face off.
We're dumb.
Yeah. But no, Scott in his room, again, wings out, just being comfortable in his own skin, going through the whole Facebook thing and like actively looking up, the profiles of the various manimals, like starting with Pitbull and just flipping through tabs, just trying to get to know people like him.
Very interesting. Won't linger on that too much, but I do like that. Recharge, Pep, Matt, any last words?
Yeah, I think the final panel for Pep is probably going to be one of him in his room, like sitting down, going to bed, pulling out. He probably has like a trunk under his bed that's locked that has like an emergency costume in there. And it's probably just him like sitting on the bed, holding the mask and looking at it and saying, "What do I even do with you?" And like you can kind of see like the reflection of his face and like the dark like plexiglass of the mask or plastic or whatever it's made of.
Perfect. I love it. Maybe let's pick up the mood a little bit with a last panel from Sky Valor, ?
We'll see.
Okay.
The last panel from her is probably when it's getting really close to the dance. She's, picking up all the work for everybody else in her group and everything. So she comes home from a long day of school and chatting with Lexi about all of her stuff and finishing working on the dance the last few days. And she just like throws her bag down and she sees that she has some missed calls from Andromeda, and she just sighs because she's had a long day, and she looks at her phone and she says, "I'll prove myself to you one day, just not tonight." And then she makes a laser Valor martini.
She's making her own laser Valor martinis now. Man, her dad set her on the wrong path.
Every once in a while, she says to herself as she makes the laser Valor martini.
Is this a fucking teenager just drinking martinis?
Her dad taught her.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while. Once a day. Every once in an hour.
It's okay, she'd do it with Lexi anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Kids gotta be kids. Alan, Tate Temple. What's concluding today's issue?
Oh man, I thought we had already done its conclusion for today's issue.
You get one more scene. One more check-in, one more, panel. So it could just be, a lingering shot from where we left off before.
Okay, well, maybe this time you actually see the text that he sent.
Ooh, yes.
And I think in my head it was just something simple, like, I don't have a girlfriend. I just have someone who's threatening my family. See how Todd deals with that, trying to guilt me and make me feel bad about it.
Great. And with that, I think we have concluded our recording for today's issue. So, until next time.
Peace out.
I think we're here to play a game, so we could probably do that for a little bit, I think. Allegedly.
Nah, this is more fun.
Yeah, if you like hearing us awkwardly babble amongst ourselves too, let us know and we'll do it more often.
I mean, we can release a podcast of that and see how it plays.
Oh, like the the behind the podcast kind of a thing, like what Walking Dead did.
Oh yeah, Talking Dead.
Yes,
we'll call it Beneath the Mask.
Beneath the Mask. Yeah. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
you got it.
Wow.
Oh,
nailed it.
Full
Done.
Circle.
Perfect.
Perfect. Do you want to make that like a Patreon stretch goal kind of a thing, or?
Ooh, money.
You can pay us money to pretend that you're hanging out with us. It's cool. That's great.
People love that.
Yeah.
Fair. Plug the Discord.
Yes, it's a much better option. You can just join the Discord and actually hang out with us. Some of us need friends desperately, Seth. Sorry, I meant to cough while I was saying Seth.
I mean,
you leave him alone.
Fair enough.
Oh, man.
I'm your friend, Seth. Don't worry.
I mean, you can never have too many friends until you win the lottery.
I tried last night. We'd come close.
You know what, Seth? Even if you won the lottery, I wouldn't try and sponge money off you.
Because sponges aren't absorbent enough?
No, because it's a douchey thing to do.
Oh, okay. Well, you could douche money off of me. Same general concept.
If that's what you're into.
I don't like this anymore. I want to stop.
We don't talk about loot chat. That's the fun surprise for people joining the Discord. It's like, oh, cool, I'll join a Discord, all about the podcast, this is great, and ooh, what's this?
Ooh, you didn't have to say ooh.
I did, actually. I had to.
He had to. It's in his contract.
And the answer is, of course you will, once I'm sponsored.
Who's sponsoring you?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Fucking sad. I'm totally being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, Robbie.
Wow, tell me more. Don't actually. Matt will get
no more free
furious
ads,
at the
I'm
free ads. Yeah, it'll be cut, Matt. Don't worry. Maybe it won't. Well, I'll see how I feel.
Got him. Martinis?
Yeah, Seth, it's fine. She has an enabler. It's fine.
2.
But martinis.
Yes.
A teenager.
Yeah, martinis.
I
Why
mean,
not?
Martinagers.
junior in high school, I think, at least.
It's the martini that Seth is hung up on.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
The old man drink. Or the old woman drink.
Salty alcohol.
Olive-filled alcohol.
Oh, it's pink.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We're going to need to make a recipe for a Laser Valor martini, aren't we?
We're going to need a whole recipe book. I love
I'm
it.
putting Seth in charge of the game-themed drinks.
What do you think? Pomegranate? You thinking a little pomegranate there, Seth?
For a martini?
I'm sure there are pomegranate martinis.
Cayenne. Oh, cayenne, bitter cherry, gin,
Nailed it.
and then salt.
I'd drink it after a long day of heroing. Hello, Internet. Mr. Critically Accursed coming in at the end of the issue. You know why, to say thank you for listening to Horizon Volume 2, issue number 8, 5 Paths. Because there's 5 characters and they're all kind of doing their own... You get it. You understand what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for listening. We have plenty more content to come. Please scroll down and check out some of our social link information. Reach out. Let us know what you think of the podcast so far. Tell us that we're doing a great job because we love it. We actually need that sort of energy to live. So... help us live. And I'll catch you in the next issue. Nice, simple, clean. See you next time.
Superhero.